if we ever have like a negative experience with a customer, we know, hey, our process is when a job's done, we ask for the review. If there's a negative experience with someone, I think it's natural to maybe not want to ask them for a review. Maybe, hey, like, I'm super sorry it didn't go that great. I don't want to send you a review link and have you post this on Google. And so with the system, you don't negate, that door that could give you some really, really great feedback that could be more helpful than just a 5-star review that said, great work, would recommend, 10 out of 10.
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Hook Better Leads podcast. And today I've got Nick from Astro Ads. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Doing great. We're talking about high level and also just automation for your roofing company, whether it's an AccuLynx or other platforms. We're going to talk about using high level to augment what your existing CRM is doing, essentially. Mm-hmm. So, Astro Ads is the name of the company, but you're not doing as much ads now. Mm-hmm. What is the evolution of that? How did that happen?
Yeah.
What are you doing now?
Yeah, focusing on lead conversion. So, I'd say when we first started, the biggest thing we'd get is, hey, I need more leads. Hey, I need more leads. And over the years, I think what we learned was when someone says, hey, I need more leads, what they're really saying is, hey, I need more customers. That's ultimately what it looks like when it comes to running ads, getting opportunities in the pipeline. And so when we focus on, hey, if they need more customers, our perspective now is when someone says, hey, I need more leads, it's, oh, okay, gotcha, hold on one sec. What are we doing once a lead comes in? Because if we can maybe save you some money and say, hey, hold on one sec, if we can put together a system that takes what they're currently getting for leads, but convert them at a higher rate, they don't always need to spend more money right away to just get more sales. Maybe they could just squeeze more juice out of what's currently coming in.
Yeah, and you look at like most roofing companies don't have some kind of automatic follow-up. Mm-hmm. And if somebody doesn't convert into like a booked appointment, there's a lot of waste. A lot of waste.
Stuff just sits there.
Yeah.
And, it's not just roofers. A lot of companies get a lot of leads.
Home service businesses, yeah.
Yeah, well, any business, I feel like, we'll talk to clients and they'll have, a list of 1,000 leads or, 10,000 leads if it's a bigger company that when you ask them what they're doing with it, they're just in an Excel sheet or a Google sheet somewhere.
Yeah, and there's a service that's really popular in plumbing and HVAC called Chirp. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like this automatic, essentially send out a chirp. I think it's CHIIRP. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these plumbing and HVAC companies swear by it, but essentially it's just activating their database with texts and with emails. And now you can do this with outbound AI phone calling. We're going to talk about that here in a second. But anything to activate the current database. And you have to have a database for this to matter, but a lot of the companies that are going to be watching this are going to be those types of companies. You have 500, 5,000, 10,000 emails or contacts in your AccuLynx, in your CRM. Mm-hmm. How are you doing with that? And I think like people just don't think of it this way in roofing because of it's not an ongoing service usually, whereas like plumbing and HVAC it is. Mm-hmm. But like how can you treat it a little bit more like an ongoing service? Mm-hmm. Like what other types of contractors? You said you have other like exterior contractors, other stuff?
Yeah, like painters, people that do windows, siding. Yeah. But that even goes, there's water treatment, there's turf, so anything that really, if you break it down to its core component, an in-home sales process. Mm-hmm. Someone that, they have to have an appointment usually. They want to confirm those appointments, make sure the homeowners are there. And then when they're out there, they either have like a one-call close or a one-show close process, or then they go back and they build some sort of estimate or some sort of, bid, for lack of better terms. Mm-hmm. And
you guys work with, it's not just go high level. It's also you can create these automations around what already exists in AccuLynx.
We can, yeah.
It's like that's a pretty common CRM. So I'm guessing that's like you've done that a lot.
Yeah, AccuLynx typically, especially for like roofers, we found when we'll use something like Zapier or Make, we'll connect that through an API key, and then it'll just trigger based off of the milestones. Mm-hmm. So inside of AccuLynx, they don't have to change how their process is, but with high level, kind of, you mentioned Chirp, The difference being is that we can actually customize, to the T, what sentence, what words, what experience that, this roofing company wants to deliver to a brand new prospect. So for example, like let's say you're a roofing company and let's say I'm bringing you 100 new customers. All 100 of those customers are going to have the exact same experience with you and your roofing company, whether you're here, whether your receptionist is out sick or on vacation, or your sales guy, is too busy and drops the ball. We remove all of that manual, support, for lack of better terms, and build it into an actual system. So it's the same experience, so you can track, like, hey, this is what's working, but sometimes more importantly, this is what's not working.
Join us January 5th through the 7th at Oklahoma City Convention Center for RoofCon 2026. It's going to be amazing. I hear there's somebody special that's going to be keynoting there. I'm going to be speaking. It's going to be really, really fun. And the best part is not even the speakers at events like this. Bringing the roofing industry together, talking about all the most cutting edge technologies and new methods, the best people in the industry sharing great information, as well as having community. That's what it's all about, having community and creating relationships. So join us. That's January 5th through the 7th at Oklahoma City Convention Center.
All right, we're going to talk about 5 automations that you should have for your roofing company. But first, where's your web address so people can go check you out?
Yeah, it's Astro, ASTRO, HQ.io will be the best spot to check us out.
astrohq.io. All right, Nick, let's talk about these automations.
Let's get to it.
What's the #1 automation, if you don't have it in place right now, you should absolutely have for your roofing company?
An automated confirmation after an opt-in comes in, meaning an opt-in being a lead.
Yep.
Something that just acknowledges and says, hey, we've received your information. A team member will be getting in touch with you shortly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something ours has that, I mean,
I'd
would
love
be
to.
next level for yours if you're willing to do the work, which is like, getting people to
Part
do
of
the
it.
work, that's hard. But for us, ours has the 7 questions that you would most likely have. So here's 7 questions we know a lot of people like you have, and then we answer those in a video. We have like we have a GIF that's like auto playing in the email, and like a little play button, and kind of invites them to click.
Okay.
Which honestly, most people will not do. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, that's on our automatic one. I highly recommend that if you're willing to do that work.
Sure. And are you saying, so you're sending that in an email, or
Yeah.
is this, okay. So do you redirect them to anything like a thank you page or something that pre-frames
Yes, we do. And on the thank you page, it also has that. It says,
nice.
it says, hey, watch this before your call.
Cool. Okay.
Essentially, it's positioning it as the next step.
Totally.
All right, next
Yeah.
step, watch this.
Yeah.
And it's like 13 minutes, and we're just trying to answer these type questions so that they come in a little bit more pre-framed on the sales call. 100%. I do think that that's a little bit advanced for some roofing companies, but if you're willing to do the work, I think that that's a big one.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe a little extra work on the front end, but once that video is recorded, you can play that as many times as you want.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the most likely video that we ever record that's going to close us deals. Mm-hmm. Well, that, and for roofing companies, I think another good one is, this is what the process looks like. We've seen sorry to just random, I'm trying to seem smart here, sorry. Try to add value too, because Nick's smart, so I got to be smart on this too. Smart guy, work with him. The why you should get an inspection video for our PPC landing pages, like that's a really good one. If people are willing to record that one, why you should get an inspection. Because people don't necessarily know, and like, yeah, we know as a roofing company maybe, but they don't always know why this matters and what it looks like. And then the process, like the basic steps to the process. I think those are, if there's any videos to do, these are the videos.
Yeah.
Sure, we can do these viral ones for fun or take shots, but these are the money-making videos.
Yeah.
You want the money-making ones.
100%, yeah.
Okay, let's get into automation #2, and I'll let you talk more than me.
Yeah, and I'm going to jump in real quick just because I really am curious. You bring that up. I'd love to get feedback as to why people are resistant to recording those videos. Is it time? Is it not being comfortable in front of the camera? Not knowing what to say?
Yes, this is a very good question. I think the issue is that they don't believe it's going to make them money, or they're scared that they're going to do it wrong. And there's really no wrong, right? If you're telling the truth, even if the production quality isn't super high, and you give them the basic process or answer the top 7 questions, or even just that high converting, like, this is what a roof inspection looks like, and this is why you should do it. If you just do basic video, it doesn't have to be high end. I've recorded that video on somebody's roof. I was not a professional video guy. I just had a camera, and I went and I got up a ladder and I recorded that, and it got like 70,000 views. And like that's a separate thing. That's not. But literally, this is the type of content people want to see. It's like kind of simple, and it's in context. Yeah. We don't want to hear your why to get a roof inspection and you're sitting on the ground. Okay, show me the real thing and like what it looks like. You know, that's one other big mistake. Sorry, we're going off in random directions. But that's one other big mistake I see is people like roofers in the office constantly recording videos. Like, you have the coolest, compared to all of us desk nerds, you have a much cooler context to the actual job. Get onto the roofs, get in the attics, show the real work, and show the real inspections. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, but better than, you know, like my messy desk where I have my lunch that I finished an hour ago that I haven't cleaned out yet, and no one wants to see that.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the second automation that you should have in place for your roofing company. If you've got this autoresponder, or the next step after booking a call, what's the next biggest thing?
Yeah. So, well, let me ask a clarifying question here. Are you talking about in sequence, so after that, or is it my second most?
Second most.
Okay, then I'm going to go to the end of the sales process, and I'm going to talk about reviews. You know, a lot of people, they've heard of softwares, for example, like Bird Eye, that's going to focus more on reputation management. Well, inside of High Level, you can customize and still automate that review process, where when a job is done, when, you know, we're at a point where we want to ask for feedback, how can we ask that feedback confidently, and how can we protect our reputation on Google? Because I think, you know, for your clients, you know, mine as well, bad reviews on Google don't help. And so with this, you know, Bird Eye is an example, but what we've built into High Level is what we call more of a review gating structure, to where we can ask for this feedback. However, if they didn't have a 5-star experience, or if they didn't have a 4-star experience, whatever level we want to set that at, we can direct that feedback to go to the team first versus going to Google, where if they do have a 5-star experience, you know, then heck yeah, like, let's share it with the world. But this gives all of our owners an opportunity, or management an opportunity, to address some sort of situation that may have happened that
gives it a private feedback form.
Exactly, and that goes directly to the team instead of them, you know, posting that on Google. So they still get the opportunity to, hey, you know, we're still asking for feedback. Nothing about that's changing. It's just where that feedback is going. This gives, you know, the business owner the opportunity to just, you know, I guess help that situation. You know, mitigate any negative thoughts or feelings from after the service.
Feedback is the most generous thing our customers can give us. Like,
Agreed.
You really can improve your business based on that information. If they're willing to give it to you, wherever it comes. If it comes on a 1-star review, that is actually still generous in a way. You have an opportunity to improve.
Yep.
And if you're still alive and kicking, and you still have an opportunity to improve, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't feel like that in our heart if that type of thing happens, but there is opportunity. I think a lot of people don't. I think a lot of people, like, I don't know, it's like, as business goes on, you stop looking at customers as the same, and you start hardening our hearts or whatever. So just try to stay open to feedback. And then I would say also stay open to positive feedback, and recognize you're doing a service. And when you get 10 out of 11 reviews that are 5 stars, recognize that's beautiful.
That's huge, yeah. And I think, you know, and this is maybe just like personally, you know, psychologically, this may be how I feel, so it could be a limiting belief, but where I feel like maybe sometimes not having a system like, you know, a system for reviews, and I use the word system and kind of underline it and bold it as much as I can through my voice here, is because if we ever have like a negative experience with a customer, we know, hey, our process is when a job's done, we ask for the review. If there's a negative experience with someone, I think it's natural to maybe not want to ask them for a review. Maybe, hey, like, I'm super sorry it didn't go that great. I don't want to send you a review link and have you post this on Google. And so with the system, you don't negate, that door that could give you some really, really great feedback that could be more helpful than just a 5-star review that said, great work, would recommend, 10 out of 10. So
yeah, because if they're specific with the feedback, it's just same in sales too, right? Like if somebody turns me down, I want to hear why. Like no is negative if I get why. It's not worthless if I do a follow-up question, which is why did you decide not to go with us?
Yeah.
And then you get that information and you can use that information to do better on the next prospect.
Oh yeah, I'd much rather get a no than I'll think about it or reach back. Like no's okay.
Yeah, that's why you go for no.
Go
You
for
gotta
no.
go for no.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the third
Yeah.
most important automation if you're a roofing company.
Yeah.
If you don't have this, you're missing out.
Yeah. Number 3, I would have to go for the nurture. The nurture in the sense of, hey, this was a great meeting. We're not signing documents right now. We're not,
So non-sign,
transactions.
no
Yeah.
sign,
Correct.
but post meetup.
Post meetup, yep. Depending on, do we have a follow-up appointment booked, a time, a day to have a phone call or to come back out and visit? Or is it, hey, just give me a couple of days? I think a lot of times we find that people either use their notes in their phone, they write stuff down. Maybe they'll update the CRM if they're on top of their P's and Q's, if you will. But if you can put a system behind the process, what it allows is going back to having that consistent experience, I think, of not having to remember to do it, but also to being strategic about what is being said in those messages, where we can plan it out, we can strategize, we map everything out in this big blueprint. And that blueprint we get down, verbatim to what the business owner, the leader is wanting to implement. And those are the messages that are getting nurtured to all of their customers. Mm-hmm. So that would be my third. That way, you don't have to remember to follow up with your leads. You don't have to, keep a little notepad or keep updating notes, but that, hey, my clients are being taken care of. And with High Level, you can personalize it. So it can make it look like it's actually coming from the team member that's working with that homeowner if they're assigned to that lead.
There's a text.
You name it. Text even, I'm sure we'll get into some AI stuff, but we can use what's called custom values. So custom values allow for those dynamic pieces of data where we can say, hey, first name, this is first name, and those names then correlate to the lead or the team member that's assigned to that contact.
Maybe number 4 and 5 here will include some AI. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I would like to get into it a little bit, and I don't want to force it in if it's not. But I think for me, the automation includes AI, right? Like in a lot of cases, I think AI is shorthand for automation. In that like the way people are talking about AI now, sometimes it's just Make or Zapier or N8N or some of these like workflows. And also, this is what I would note. Love the one you're with. For CRMs. Because I think everyone wants to switch and they think they're going to get some crazy thing. Look at the AI and automation tools inside your current CRM. See what it can do first. Because I think sometimes we get sold by this new thing. And we're doing it right now because you're going to work.
All these new things.
Yeah, because you're going to work with a couple people that watch this podcast and they're going to want to do that. But look at your CRM first and see what is good about its automation, because there's new things popping up all the time. Like for instance, at our company, we're on Monday and we're on Slack, and we've got other things coming. We're doing Go High Level now. That's why I originally chatted with you, or High Level. Now, between these 3 tools, there's a lot of things you can do. Like make sure I'm looking in Monday for the automation. You know what I mean? That's our project management tool. Whatever your tools are. really work because there's new stuff all the time, and you don't know what popped up in the last year if you started using it a year ago.
Does your company want to build your brand and get more jobs in the neighborhoods you're currently working in?
The Brick by Brick playbook allows you to establish your brand, your reputation, and gain trust in any neighborhood in your service area with a series of 4 postcards sent once a week to the neighbors of your current jobs. If you want to get more work in the neighborhoods you're currently working in, get with the team at Dope Marketing and get your Brick by Brick playbook set up today.
Totally. Yeah, and I would say, from someone that builds out these systems, a lot of softwares these days can do a lot of the same things. It's just understanding where the button is to make it happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't always have to make a switch. I would actually maybe take a step back and maybe recommend, instead of like looking around in the software, ask, just yourself or your team and say like, hey, what do we want to accomplish? And let's like just go old school pen and paper for a sec and say like, hey, let's get some great ideas on the table here. Because what I found just with doing a lot of strategy with business owners and really just higher level people is it's not what's the best way to phrase this? Great ideas aren't hard to come by. What I found is that a lot of people have really, really great ideas, but the execution of those great ideas is the biggest differentiator that I find between people that just keep coming up with these great ideas, but don't do the tangible things to actually implement them and, bring them to fruition.
And one of your first tangible ways to bring it to fruition is going to be making the flow, writing out the flow. Because it's like, is it even a good idea to begin with is the real question. Because I think like right now, because we have like an incentive for automation stuff right now. Like I'm paying people to come up with
your team
automation and AI. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So it's like $500 if they create one reusable agentic type thing, and it's $5,000 if they make it so I don't have to hire somebody.
Really?
So that's like an incentive, an AI incentive, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And the number one thing though is it has to be something that actually helps the company, right? And I think that's where you have to start with the flow. Start with the flow, like you're saying, and you actually make something, and then it has to get approved.
And that's a big one.
It has to get approved.
Yep.
Because if it's not worth making, it doesn't matter how good the AI is behind the scene. It's not worth making.
Yeah.
And last thing on that is, I think that a lot of people are obsessed with AI right now. And the thing, I think of it as like copy and paste, really. That's how I look at it. In the basic format, a lot of AI is like copy, paste, or copy, spin, paste.
Sure.
Right? Because it's like a fancy spinner.
Yeah.
AI is like, it can create a lot more, but you have to have the nugget to spin.
Yeah, some snowball that's already going down the hill. Yeah.
And then spin it.
Yeah.
And then rehash it.
Yeah.
And there's some good things there. You can inform the snowball with greater data. You can make it. You can give it a tone. You can do a lot of things in that process. But the point is ideal scenario is the nugget that you're about to copy and paste is good.
Yeah, it has to be good. Yeah.
You want to make it good. So AI does not make bad ideas good. You have to have good ideas to copy and paste.
Well said. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are in this mode of like AI good.
Just good, yeah.
It's good.
It's good.
And you have to be good idea.
Yeah.
AI, great idea. That's the way I look.
Sure. Yeah, I found looking at the end first. Hey, what's the end result here? And then maybe let's take a step right before that. What happens right before we get to that end result? And then if we keep on just going backwards, sometimes I found a little more helpful.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
To come to that.
That's good.
Yeah, and I'll just touch on it real quick because you brought up, make sure you get the flow down. We used to do the opposite. We used to, hey, this is what we want to do. So we build this, cool thing inside a high level. And we realized don't build anything until it gets approved and we have an actual visualization, because on paper, this may look great. Like, this sounds good, but when it actually comes into practice, we oftentimes find that, hey, what we thought coming up with these great ideas because we're so smart, when we're actually dealing with homeowners or clients or leads, sometimes we need to switch stuff. Sometimes the cadence, sometimes, we need to add stuff here. So for that reason, everything gets built out. We use ClickUp, inside of our company. And
Similar to Monday, by the way, project management tool.
yeah.
Both good.
Both good. Yeah, I can nerd out about.
I feel like ClickUp is maybe a little bit more AI forward.
It
from
does
what I
have,
understand.
yeah, there is AI functionality with it. A lot of more so like finding stuff. Like you can build these knowledge bases, but that's like a whole different.
That's cool.
Yeah, a whole different thing. But it's helpful when you're, hey, I got to remember this conversation that came up that we made a ticket for or a task for, whatever it may be. But it's like a little comment. Like I can't find a comment in this haystack. So.
It makes it easier to find all that.
Oh yeah, it's all sorted and organized, almost just like if you could Control F your entire company, you could do that inside of ClickUp.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to the last two. I like to organize the content around a principle here, and I want to bring us back into the automations you should have for your business. So we're talking about roofing, another home services. What's another one? We talked. What have we gone through so far? We've got after the contact responder. We've got the follow up on unclosed deal. And I guess second was review.
The second was the review.
Or feedback.
The actual
decision tree. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then what else do we got?
So what I would throw in next, and this I will throw in some AI here.
Thank you. That's what the people want. We all just want to talk about AI all day.
Yeah, I would go into an AI that can nurture your database. And this goes into kind of our conversation prior about people wanting more leads. Hey, I need more leads. I need more leads. And people want to spend money on leads, and we get that. But what ends up happening is we have a bunch of leads. And over the years, we've learned that when people say, hey, I want more leads, what they're really saying is, hey, I want more sales. And so instead of spending more money to get more leads, eventually you will have to. You can't just get leads or traffic out of thin air. But oftentimes, if you can nurture that existing database of leads that are just sitting there, there's some low-hanging fruit, and you can usually get a healthy 5, maybe 10%, depending on how fresh that list is. And for some lists, that'll keep you busy for a few weeks. So to answer your question, I would go into kind of the nurture side, but more reactivation. Of the database and using AI to handle that instead of sitting down like an SDR or a BDR and saying, hey, dial through this list of leads that's 2 years old. That is maybe like higher up than number 4 on the list, but it low-hanging fruit, get as much juice for the squeeze, and then once you've really worked that database, then hit up a guy like yourself and say, hey, we've got the system in place, we're squeezing as much as we can out of what's currently coming in, now let's pour more gas on the fire, now let's crank it up.
Kind of plug the leaks first.
Exactly, yeah, you got a bucket, and what's the point in filling it if you're just losing a quarter of it or half of what you're putting in.
Yeah, I think in addition to close rate, the things I get a little hyper fixated when like somebody's like, I need more leads, close rate, and follow up. Like, I think like those are if that's not right, then we're filling a leaky bucket. And I mean, it's tough when I'm not saying if your close rate's like for a roofer, like if your close rate's even like 20+%, I'm not saying you. I'm saying there's other ones that go even lower. I don't want to be mean, but it's not good at 10.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Sure.
I mean, and obviously we're all shooting for 30.
Right. And let me ask you, when that comes up, because from my experience, what I found, before we transition into converting more leads and nurturing and really like giving leads the ultimate care, if you will, we would generate leads for our clients. But what we found oftentimes is when we'd have those discussions, it was a lot easier to say, hey, these are bad leads, than it is to say, hey, maybe I'm not the best with my sales process.
Well, I mean, I think that, yes. It absolutely is. And it's crazy because, and I'm not going to go into it. I will say, like, even think about Angie. Like, people do well with Angie if they have, like, a very vigorous follow-up system and they're very quick on speed to lead. So, like, we all talk smack about it because it's shared leads, so on and so forth. Google leads generally are better. Et cetera, but like even LSA leads now, they're like, hey, send to 3 options. Like they're a little bit more like Angie leads on LSA now. So it's very quickly becoming, if you don't have good speed to lead and nurture, then you're going to struggle with anything that's not a referral. And even a referral, I say people do the digital double check if you're getting a referral, and they're checking your reviews. People look at your stuff, and they'll often come through a digital channel. And if you're not quick, a referral goes away.
Yeah.
Referrals are not
It's not a
guaranteed every time. So
Yeah.
all this is important no matter how you're getting leads, even if you're not doing aggressive lead gen.
Sure. Yeah, and I think that's a great way to approach sales in general. Speed to lead. It's really just making sure that we have like a process defined, even if you're not leveraging automation, which at this point, I mean you have to, and that goes into AI. And I'm sure if we had this conversation a year from now, we're going to be talking about way different things even in a year. So it's more. All of these changes, all these strategies, all these softwares, they're always coming out. There's always new stuff, but if we really look at the foundation and the principles of them all, it's kind of the same as marketing. Starting way back where we're sending out like a crap ton of postcards and mailers, or we're getting an ad in the newspaper. You've got a headline, you've got a subheadline, you've got some description. Now we're moving towards LSA ads, and LLMs. You're popping up in AI searches, and so I really am a believer that. As all of these things will change, the core principles still remain the same. The foundation and the structure of it, it's just how we implement it.
Yeah, and for those of you reluctant to go full bore on this, just do these 5. And you're taking stuff off real humans' plates so that they can focus on more high-touch customer service. Like, this is intended to enable humans to do better work. I think that's really where AI is best.
Definitely.
Is helping your people spend more time on things that are a little bit higher touch versus having to do these just routine basic things.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm not saying, don't fire your entire office, right?
2.
Yeah,
It's the worst 2. You already know who, don't worry.
I was going to say 3, but 2 may be better to start with.
Just start with 3, and you already know who, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's
Tell a business owner that, it kind of hits every time. If you tell a business owner, you know which 2 or 3.
They know which 2.
It's messed up, but it's true.
And we can leave it at that. Yeah, that's how the cookie usually crumbles. Don't lose personalization without the automation. So marry the 2 together. Use it to elevate your experience. And I always use this hotel analogy. Like a Holiday Inn versus, 4 Seasons. There's a reason they can charge more. There's a reason that they're nicer. It's the whole experience between the 2. And when you build this into a system, I know it sounds crazy comparing like a 4 Seasons to a roofing company, but it allows you to provide that next level experience to where now we're not just getting customers because we're running ads with you. We're getting customers because we're so good with our process that people wouldn't recommend any other company except us. And, again, it goes back to, hey, I'm sure a lot of your viewers, they have these great ideas. They know, hey, like this is what needs to happen for each customer that comes in. But us as humans, myself included, I'll be the first to admit I drop the ball all the time. And so it's hard to, make that a consistent thing for each customer that comes through when you're relying on humans and you're relying on them to remember to do stuff. And if you can just help them out and help save some time, they can then focus on, what produces, what I would call like a revenue generating activity, which would typically be sales, meeting with their customers.
Couldn't agree more. I think it's kind of the philosophy of, hey, AI might be scary, and 3 years out, we don't know. I can't see the future. But in the meantime, this is going to potentially make your people's lives better. I think the philosophy I have is this is the long-term vision for AI, is like how to make people's lives a little bit better. And then we just need to have a governor on it so it doesn't take over.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like people haven't seen the Terminator before.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell your ChatGPT to refer to itself in a certain way.
Really?
So you should definitely do this. Go to your ChatGPT and be like, only refer to yourself from now on as future Terminator.
Okay.
It will help you remember, where it's all going.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that what you do?
Yeah. Mine calls itself future Terminator.
Yeah. One quick tip with AI too, just because we're on ChatGPT, that I was taught that was super helpful. Talk to it. Don't type to it. Talk to it. Sometimes we sit there and we're like thinking of what we type, but if anyone's similar to me, sometimes I just like to hear myself talk.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'll just blab it for like 10 minutes, and what next thing you know, like you mentioned, it's all about what you feed it, the input. Feed it a crap ton more when you're just talking to it.
Do you
versus
ever
typing.
do you ever get like halfway into one of those and it's like, I didn't hear you, and you're like, no, I just poured out my heart to you, future Terminator, please.
No, but that would be a fear that I think I would have. I would hate that.
Keep your chunks a little shorter sometimes. That's all. I've had to do that. Maybe it's because I give it a derogatory name. Who knows?
Probably. It's like, watch this. I'm
Yeah.
going to do this to Tim. Yep.
Okay, so what's our last automation?
Automate your communication with Proline, the only communication-first CRM for roofers. Because when you fix your communication, you'll sell more jobs.
We had 200% growth, and I attribute that to Proline.
But just with one automation, I was able to get 25 Google reviews.
Proline's not going to win the beauty pageant, but it will save your Saturday.
How can we help somebody? Can we maybe do voice? I mean,
Yeah.
at this
we
point,
definitely can do voice. Well, can I add one more
Yeah.
too?
Yes.
To that too?
Yeah, we got bonus.
Yeah, I'll start with the AI, and this kind of goes back to just customer experience, but we'll leverage outbound voice AI depending on the customers to actually reach out and have a conversation about their experience, to where it's a little different than just sending them a review link. It's actually, having a dynamic conversation, and then at the end of that call, depending on the nature of that conversation, they can live transfer in a manager, they can live transfer in the sales rep and address an issue right there if there's an issue, or on the other end,
So this is like 5 days after the job or something?
depending on the sales process, yeah. But the cool part is on the other end, right? We're thinking negative, right? Hey, bring in someone like a manager. What if it's really positive and we want to get referrals? What if we want to capitalize on this great experience while the iron's still hot? If we have them on the phone and they're talking to us about how great it is, and we bring in a sales guy, instead of them having to call leads to find referrals, or, hey, is there someone when they hear about that, they can transfer in a team member and try and capitalize it right there. So that kind of goes back to the ideas, though, is like, what neat things do we want to do as a company that's going to portray us as more of a Four Seasons compared to a Hilton? And how can we implement that? And with voice AI, just how dynamic and really just...
I think Four Seasons is my heaven.
It's not a bad spot to call heaven if you travel a bit. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay. I think it's important when we look at like our customers. At the end of the day, what do we want them to think of us, and do we want them to say, hey, working with these guys is our heaven? I'd probably say, heck yeah, like that sounds pretty great. So
And then, like, what else can we be doing with voice? Like, what should people be doing at least with AI voice right now?
yeah, I mean, I would have your voice AI be the one to answer inbound calls. That way, consistently, we don't miss phone calls that come in, and maybe you guys get some feedback so you can touch on this.
Just nights and weekends at least, and like
Well,
overflow, right?
Overflow is a big one, or even if you would consider overflow as if like a backup. So after 48 hours, after 48 hours, after we've let our top SDR or our top setter, receptionist, admin, you name it, handle that lead. After 48 hours, then the voice AI is going to be the one doing that nurturing. So that gives your team the freshest opportunities at all times, saying, hey, you're only going to work on leads that are 48 hours or newer. Every other lead's getting handled. They're not slipping through the cracks like what usually happens, which, we made 2 calls, or hey, like if we're crazy, we made 3 calls and they didn't pick up. That's a bad lead. It's a bad lead. And that, I think, just, it kills leads. It kills, advertising budgets. It kills your ROI, when you look at your ad spend compared to what's coming in for revenue. And if you can just replace, let's say a receptionist's responsibilities, again, not saying you have to fire her or anything like that, but say, hey, I'm going to take the task off of you answering all of our inbound calls, and we're going to give this to an AI appointment setter that's going to do what you do, but do it whether you feel good, whether you're in a mood, whether you're out sick for the day, it doesn't matter, or after hours. If you have one of those services that's more of like an emergency service where people are calling at midnight, I think a big one, plumbers. Plumbers is, a very common one, to where you either got to staff someone on call, for when the office closes to when it opens again in case one comes in, or accept the fact, hey, we're just going to miss out on these opportunities because we're not going to pick them up.
And there's a lot of different options for this. From you're talking about VAPI, using VAPI, which is like the kind of the broader. It's behind a lot of these, and you can connect it into your Go High Level. We often recommend ProLine, and that has its own built-in. Go High Level has its own built-in, but test it, make sure it's good. Automations. We got 5 of them for you. It's a great place to start. If you just got these 5, you're probably going to have less leads leaking through the cracks. And if they wanted to go work with you on this, can you give them just a real quick information about you guys and how you'll help them for a minute?
Yeah, absolutely. So that website, Astro, ASTROHQ.io, that's the best place. Every client that we meet with, we schedule a call just to understand their current process. And once we understand that, we'll actually go over an entire blueprint, kind of going over building that flow. We do that for each of our clients individually before we ever set the system up. But the great part about it is it's all done for you. So everything from the build to the management to the optimization. So as it goes on, it gets better and better because we can analyze that data. We do it for our clients.
And I've talked to one of your clients, and he loves the experience. He loves the experience of working with you guys, and I think that specifically for roofing companies, to have somebody like that on your stuff and to have somebody caring, but that has also gone through that with other roofing companies. I think that's a big deal. I get that it's kind of like a big thing and getting somebody internal and all those things, but if they're internal and they're kind of learning this all from scratch, how many issues have you gone through already? How many
7 years worth of
mistakes have you made, and then improved the process for the next company? So I think that the benefit of all those mistakes and the ability to not make as many on your account is what you're going to be getting a lot of with this. So I appreciate you taking the time. Thanks for coming into the office.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. And appreciate you guys for watching. Podcast is put on by hookagency.com. Hook Agency all over social media. Please like, comment, subscribe, get mad in the comments, or whatever else you need to do. Thank you, guys.
Go Hook.
Bye.
They're so thorough with every detail of the website. Working with Hook, the design is probably 50x better than any other design I've ever had. Their team is super communicative, and I mean this genuinely. I'm happy to pay you guys to work with us. It's been a tremendous experience.